Hello everyone and welcome to our hands-on session on getting started with low code. This webinar is part of our monthly live webinars which we have been doing for like past 2-3 months, and this is open to everyone. Uh, those whoever wants to learn more about how to use DronaHQ platform to their own advantages. And over these series of webinars, we plan to walk you through the basics as well as the niche capabilities the DronaHQ platform has to offer, right from front-end designing to API configuration to user permission management and app sharing. So my name is Shibam Dhar and I am developer advocate and DronaHQ. And today we have a very interesting topic which we get from our most of the clients to understand much depth for our table grid control. So today we will go through all the functionalities and the things we can explore with our table grid control. How you can just do everything right from displaying, managing, adding the data, working with the databases, and keeping the edit options only to your local screen, not affecting to your backend. So everything just we'll try to cover in this session. So let's just start. I'll share my screen. Just a minute. Okay. Uh, Vikansh, can you confirm me if my screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So right now I'm on my studio platform and I've created a new app, Table Grid Control. So this whole screen we will just play with the table grid control, and let's just start from our control. And as you can see in our featured list, we have the second more option of table grid. Just drag and drop. It's simple for all the others control as well. I'll just take it here and this. So once you get your table grid, there are certain things you have to know about your table grid to make it usable as per giving references or to use it as keywords. So the thing which you want to know about table grid, we all have in our property section, the first thing info like the unique name to address this particular table grid. Now, if I just take another table grid, it will be called as table grid one. So properties with respect to table grid and with respect to table grid one, both will have different functionality, different effects on our project or on your own web app. And next we have our labels, the tooltip, providing some extra additional information just for the table grid purpose. We will not go into this. We will just get into the very important things. Like the first thing is just external CSS. Now, uh, we already have the option to change the layout of our table grid. Like we have simple layouts. Like if you want to change the background, you want to change the front size and all this thing. So this is like you get all the options in one place. But there might be like you might want to add your own css to your table grid, right? You want to make it more look more responsive or more colorful or something else, so you can just click on apply css and open a editor, and this thing is our id selector. So basically this id name is given to our table grid. Now, whatever you write here will affect our table grid eventually as per respect to its cascading, right? So it is just a side feature which is available for every other control. So if you scroll to any control present in our whole list, like there are over 50 or 100 plus controls, and you can just find this particular option of applying external CSS. Now, moving on, we have this thing like top bar. So this top bar, we can work with its properties. Like if you don't want the search bar, you just move the search bar. If you want the search bar, provide a placeholder, you have the option. Now this enable actions are like, okay, just let me click on just a second. I think some internet issue. Okay. So you can see these actions are nothing, just it will not actually help you to update the table, but it will provide you a icon on the table. As you can see on the top, the icons are increasing the delete. If I just click here, just a second. Okay, it's saved now. Now you can see that there is this delete option and there is this add option, and also yeah, here is the update option, right? So this these icons can be accessed with the help of that property, but we don't need those icons. We'll be using our inbuilt table grid features, so I'll just remove them. Okay, so now in the button section there are some like different types of properties. So first of all, we have column reorder and visibility. So as the toggle name suggests, it is basically like all the columns whichever are present in this table, in which order you want to see them. Now, if you want full name after address or email before full name, so you can just do that. Just I'll just click here. Let me save it. Do a preview. Okay. Okay. Due to internet, some glitching again. Not an issue. We'll just continue with it. So the first thing is column reorder and visibility. Next, we have the download option. Then we have the refresh option, just in case if you have the data like being fetched from the backend, and if you want to get the recent recent data from your database, you can just click on the refresh button, provided that your table grid is already connected with your backend database to APIs or connector, right? And we will see how to connect that also. And then we have filters and persist filters. So filters we'll see right now again. And persist filter is basically if you are adding some filters to this table grid, next time another user comes and open up the table grid from the app, you want it to persist. Like if some filtration is done, you want that to remain or persist in future. So that for that we have persist filter, then we have sorting and row size. Okay, so let's see what do we have. Okay, so now this is for the row size. It is now small, then medium, then large. You have a beautiful option to do this. And then we have column reordering and visibility. So in case, so first use case is like if you want avatar of the full name or something like that, you can just simply do it like this, phone number, and then I want address like here. I don't want to see created at, I don't want to see okay, let's have the unique ID. Okay, so now I'll do apply. Now you see full name is in the front, then avatar, then birth, phone, and the okay. There is no created ad. So one feature is for reorderability, and second is for visibility. Now this created ad value is there in our screen. It is not like vanished from our screen. It is just not visible at the moment, but it is the values are present on our screen. Okay, so that's all. Then we have download, and then we have sort data. You can add some sort of sorting here, right? And we have also filter, like if you want, you can add some sort of filters on the basis of the data. Like if you want the filter to be all the people who are born in this age or before this or that, you can do that from there. Okay. Now moving on, we have columns that will be editable. We will get back to it. New rows, we will also get back to it. Then we have properties, all this thing like the background color, the header. You want the text to be in the centered, you can do that. You want to be in the left alignment, you can do that. You can change the font size and everything. Now Uh, okay, just let me scroll down a bit. Okay, in the display setting, we have this detailed view. Let me just open it. Let me just toggle it on, and then we have aggregation, and we also want these column. So detailed view is when you select a particular row, all the details present in that particular row will be shown in you to you in a side tab, right? We'll see to it. And aggregate footer, there is the functionality. As you can see right here, there is a showing count 18. So there are the functionality like show me the count where the value is 0. Show me the count where the value is not null, or show me the mean value of all the numbers. We have all those features. Now, before we move on, there is one thing I want to add here. Just a second. Let me save the data. This data is just there for the reference purpose. Now in the data bind section, you can see if I just scroll down, right here we have a format data. Yes, and this format data is enables you to provide extra data formatting or define a format type for certain types of data. Like if you are having email address, you want that column type or data type as email. Right now in the back, you can see all the details are as a plain text, right? I don't want that. So let me show you. Let's click on email, right, to email. And okay, it is not visible there. I'll just select, let me just finish it. I'll show you one more thing. Like, let me finish it. So as you can see now the email, all the emails are shown as a type of email URL, right? Now, there is one thing I want you to focus is that here the birth dates are not in a normal reading format, they are in ISO or Unix time format, right? So to change this, there are certain methods like you can perform uh, JavaScript codes, you can import your own libraries, you can use libraries, functions, or some other JavaScript scripts like that. But with the help of format data, you can also okay, you can also help to change the data types or to convert the data type. Yes, conversion is the right word to convert the data type. Now I want it to be big. Now let's see what happens. Now if I just scroll here, see now it is showing 1976-01-19. 1982-01-19. So this is the more like one of the most crucial functionality of format data. And this is not it. You get the JS objects, you get the decimals, you get the numbers, you get take time, JSON, HTML markdown, geolocation, ratings, and much more. One more thing we will use later. So I'll just continue. So now, if you remember, there was this aggregate, right? So now I'll just click on, let's say, birthday. Latest date. So the latest date is last 23 years, or you can say date range. So the date range is within 28 years. So the maximum or the minimum birth age will be a difference range is between 28 years. So this is the main functionality of aggregate functions or aggregate footer. And this is for the detailed view. You can see there's a nice avatar coming forth Kumar Herman with a birth date written, phone number, email, and all this stuff. Right. Okay. Now I think one more thing is there in the property which I have enabled earlier, that is freeze column. right now you can see if I just scroll here and there, it is just going in a smooth way. What if I want first two columns to be there, even in the preview, also in the builder view, and rest all will be scrollable. So sorry, one and two. Okay. Now if I scroll, you can see the first two columns are not made scrollable, but the rest of the columns are scrollable. So this is the main functionality of freeze column. Okay, and then we have the freeze column checkbox. So if you want multiple checkbox, or you want single select, or you want yes with the single select, it's just up to you. Next, we have detailed view, like what all key maps you want, or you want to customize, like you want to see the avatar and the address name, you can do it in the detailed view format. So everything is there just in the property section. Now moving down, we have and this. Now just below we have actions. Now actions is like if you want to add, let's say a button to a whole row, right? So let's say I have here birthday phone number, right? So I want this phone number on click to be called. So let's say call action. Okay. Now where is the call? The call action is not visible here. The reason behind is that I can call out the text action, so it is up there. So I don't want it to be select low navigate to detail. I want it on add as column. Now the call action button has been added right here as a column. Call now. Okay. This is the first thing to add the action button. Now, second thing we can perform right here is that I want this to be shift right here, like with the phone icon. So let's say I go down column 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, and I just do more 6, 7. So you can also define the in which nth number you want the whole column to be displayed. You can also show it as show on over. So if I just move this, and let's see how is it looking. So you can see there when I hover on any particular row, the icon has been displayed here as call. So you can bind your actions further for this from your event section. So this is like the whole properties which we provide you for any table grid. And table grid is a very unique, you can say, or very versatile control we have, which is our display control, which is our functional control, which also our input control, and it consists of everything. Now let's move ahead with our database connectivity, right? So right here I have already added one Postgres database right here. So we'll see about its queries. And in just in case if you are thinking how I have like connected this connector, configured this Postgres configure connector in my DronaHQ Studio platform. You can either check our past videos, or you can also go to our community page and just write your questions like Postgres and Postgres connection string with configuring connectors, anything. So you will find all the materials there. Okay, now moving on. This is our query builder. I have one table in this Postgres database, and this mark sheet has all the data. Let's see the data. Select. Okay, so this is to show you what we have. We have all these data like name, science, English, maths, P, roll number. These are all the mark sheet details of all the students as per with respect to roll numbers. And right here, there is one unique and new feature which Studio provides you. You can see Ask AI. So this is our like new feature supported from ChatGPT, and this feature enables you to get or build, create queries even you have very low knowledge or no knowledge literally about any query. So let me just show it to you. Like I'll just tell you. Okay. So this is the whole data: name, science, English, math, physical education, and roll number. So I want the AI to get all scores and average score of mark sheet and provide grade. So we want all the scores. We want all the. We also want average score of the mark sheet, and also we want a query to provide us a grading system. Let's see what we get. So there is a code which we like query we you can see, like let me just zoom it. So it is saying a query has been given to me. AI responses can be inaccurate or misleading. Like obviously it is a very like first thing you must see. So there is a whole grading system provided to me like S, F, and G. So let's see. Let me. There are three options. You can use the query. You can copy the query. You can discard the query. So let me just use the query just to see how does it work. Okay, so there are less small errors, I think, as average. Okay, let me just create a quick fixes here. Okay, so the roll number is not there. I thought. Just okay. Something happening. Okay, wait. I think there's this glitch. Let's see. This- Okay, so here is working. I think there was some spelling issues right there. So here it is, the same code. Just I've done it earlier for your convenience. See, and here you can see the select roll number, name, science, English, math, and all this grading system, along with the average score. So we have the roll number, and there is this average score column and also the grade column. This is our get all data. Now one more thing we have additional feature for our table grid control is, let me show you. So, what is that? Okay, yeah, thanks, Ekang. I think that was like spurt of the moment. That thing got missed. Anyways, I had the code. No need to worry. In case if you guys want the code, you can just ask in the group and they will provide you. Okay, so there is one more feature we have, that is pagination. Now, pagination, we all know, is basically having a huge number of data being paged wise in a 20, 25, 50, 100, like this way, right? We want this table to do pagination. Now we'll do allow. We want it val or event offset 100. No, I let's say 25 0. So the 25 is like how many data you want per page. So I want 25. The offset is like in which serial number you want to start it from. So I was doing from 0, like to start from the very first beginning. And for this, we want the code of pagination, which we have right here. Let me show you. The whole code is totally same as get all data. Just in the last, we are adding limit and offset. Now, limit is under curly braces. Now, the curly braces is for to provide a variable. Now, this limit is 10. Let's say I want 4. And offset, I want 4. So, it will start from 4th serial number till 4th, starting from there. 4, and after that we have, let's say, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 their values, and after just after that. Okay, now the serial numbers are provided in this way. This is to provide a variable value for API response or query response, to make it more dynamic whenever the user is working with this particular connector or query, right? So this is all set. Now go to the table grid, go to its data. We'll go to connectors, select a connector. I'll just find my own connector. This is the connector which I've configured earlier. I don't want get all data, I want get all data with pagination. And then I'll click on continue. Now, this is the whole query. Okay. Here we have the limit and offset. So these two things are just the variables which you have mentioned earlier. So we will use keywords. Now the keywords is table grid 1 properties dot limit. Now in the table grid, in the property section, whatever the limit I have set, that was 25, will be provided dynamically the value in this particular segment. Now offset, let's do table grid. Here we have offset. Now transform response. Now transform response is basically providing a JS layer, JavaScript layer in your data object or the whole data to do certain refining or adding some values or performing some tasks in between the database and loading on your own platform screen. So right now my raw response looks like this with lots of brackets with result and rows. Okay. Now let's do a small transformation on the response data. The brackets are reduced, the result is gone, the rows is gone. Now do a test. That's successful. Make sure that the columns are bound in this particular segment. These columns will be used as key reference to be displayed in your table grid control. Now do a test and finish. Now let's do it. Right here we have our roll number, name, science, English, math, PE, and everything. Okay. Um, we'll do some basic refinements like let's change the name of PS video. Okay, now next let's check whether the pagination is working or not. So we have 25 data here and rest of the five, 6 data is right here. Awesome. So this is the functionality of pagination for table grid control. Now moving on, let's do some quick data formatting. I want to add a format of let's for the sorry grading system single tag. Now let me show you what single tag does. So do a save and close to finish. Now is it done yet? Wait a second. Now it's signing. Yeah. So you can see the grades are shown in a way of single tag. Now these tags I'm showing for two purposes. The first thing is to show you that you can use as a tag response in your own table grid control to provide a certain level like you have different types of genres or different types of products. Let's say beauty products, you have electronics, so you can provide them a tag. So these tags will help you to do a quick filter. Now we'll go back to our property of quick filter. I'm just removing the unwanted properties for this. And okay. Now, when I toggle on the quick filter, you can see there is a drop down, and we have to select the column on which you want to perform quick filter. Now, there is one thing you have to make ensure that that particular column must have the data in tags. So we have grade as tags. Now you can see CED. Okay, let's just do a preview. Now, if I just want to see the E, I just click on E and all the students in the first 25 lists or first 25 lists will be visible right here. And if I just go to second page, all the next we have, if I just click on A, all the A will be visible there, right? So this is the main purpose of quick filter to get you just the values which you want as per your single tag or multiple tag. Now moving on, we have update data. So for any CRUD, there are four things: we're displaying the data, editing the data, adding a new data, and deleting the data. So we will perform update and inserting new data, and will not be using the delete data because it's just too much straightforward and it is not required as per our this session. And let's start with the update data. So the first thing to make your table grid uh, editable, you will go here in the properties. Just below you will find choose column that will be editable. So roll number is fixed, name is also fixed, science I want to make it editable, I want to make English editable, maths see, average score grade that will be calculated with the help of our own query which we have seen earlier. So this is done. So the first step is to make your columns editable. Now this whole column and these four columns will be editable from our side. Okay. Now next thing is we also want to add a new row. Now for adding a new row, we have a dedicated property right here known as add a new row. Now when you click here, it will ask you to select the columns which should be accessible by the user for input. So user can insert name, science, English. Okay. So all the subjects and the name will can be provided from the user. Okay. Okay. So now that is done, we will now perform queries to our action. And this action will be used from our save changes. Let me show you why. Uh, I think my screen is all. I think my video is off. Right? Not an issue. Okay. When I click here, you can see the name is provided here and the science number is up for a change. Now, when I write something else, click on enter, you can see save change. If I scroll down, add a new row, you can see these 5 columns are accessible, like 2 plus. When I just click on, you can see the save changes. So save changes is our trigger event. So this trigger event will, we have to harness the actions on it to do an update query and also an insert query. Okay, so just let me do this. We'll go to save changes, click on plus. Now the save changes will be used for both of the things, updating as well as inserting. For that purpose, we'll use our logic on screen in action of branch. The branch one will be named as, let's say, update data. Now the update data will be dependent on table grid properties, and let me let me show you table grid properties. And in the table grid properties, it will only be triggered when there we are edited rows, right? Okay, done. The branch two will be for insert new data. Now this also will be dependent on table grid dot properties dot mm, uh, new rows. Okay, cool. Now let's do them. So let's start with our update data. Now when I click on update data, I will the next I will add again a on-screen action. Let me just get it for you. So now updating data, there are chances that for a single student or single child, there are you want to change more than one or two subjects or for more than one or two students. So there should be an iteration done for every edited rows. Otherwise, it will just send you a whole string of data and your database will not be able to understand it or interpret it, like how to save it in it, how to save it, right? So I'll just go with iterate task, and here I'll use table grid dot properties dot edited rows. Okay, continue. Now the iterate task start and end. This will be on loop till the time there are edited rows in a segment basis from our table grid control. Okay, so mm, next we will add a JS editor. Mm, okay. So this JS editor is basically for will be useful like when you are entering the details. The table grid must interpret all the details in a single file or in a single format. Like yes, 92 number is only for the math attribute. The 52 number is for science attribute. So you have to column or the matchmaking has to be done here. Okay. So just let me get the values quickly. Like this name, let's say well, and here I want values, all the values from our iterate task and the test value. Get the value. So this is a test value. Uh, the test value is nothing, just one slot of all the attribute of one student, right? And in the JavaScript code, I have the code already with me. Let me just copy paste it. Okay. This is the data which user provides, and this JavaScript will be like this thing will be this thing will be applicated on the whole data which we are providing. And once the application is done, it will provide the data to the database in this particular format of science this much, English this much, maths name and roll number. Cool. So this is our first JavaScript code which we will use, and let's click on continue. Now let's click on add variables. Let me quickly add the variables and then I'll tell you what is that. Uh, the values which we have converted or you changed with the help of JavaScript, we are saving each attribute in different output formats. Okay, so let's click on finish. Now next, we got the values from our user. We have tag them in the proper attribute section. We also have them in our output variables. Next, we have to add the query. Now the query will go to server side action and click on our configured connector and the update data query. So the update query I've written here. You can just so this is the query, and you can see there are brackets there, curly braces. It is for to again the same reason for providing a dynamic value to the query, and let's just use keywords. So there we will use the output variable keywords for this particular segment. Like let's just do it quickly. Here's code or English. As you can see, if I hover over it, you can see there is a value provided 85. So this 85 is the value for this output variable, which will be provided to our query for our update data API hit. Right. So similarly, just let me do this. So before we continue, let me see. Yeah. So this is the query. Update marksheet, set science value, English value, math value, physical education on the basis of roll number, where roll number is equal to roll number. Now, roll number we are using as UID to provide an anchor point to check which data exactly we have to change or update. Okay, so let's do a continue. Finish. Okay. So this was for our update data. Now for our insert data, we have similar steps. Just we don't need the iterate task. We will be using a normal JS code editor. Where is that JS code? The name will be new data. Keyword will be now here. I want the values for new rows. New data, new rows. Yes. So for the previous branch, we have used the properties for edited rows. Now for this particular uh, branch for the inserting new data, we will be using a property of new rows. Yes, table grid dot properties dot new rows. Now in the JS code, let me drag and let me just copy the code with here quickly. Let's do a test script and yes. So the main function of this JavaScript code editor is that whenever the user provides some values in this particular format, it will change the whole data into this particular format, which will be readable for our Postgres SQL database. Let's one click continue. We want the variable, we want output. Do we want output? Yes, we want the output. Let's do this records. Let's do finish. And let's add now that we have all records for insert purpose, we will go to server side action, click on go to our configured connector, select insert new data and continue and simply use. So this is the query we have. Insert into marksheet name, signs, and all these values as records variable. So I'll just get the records. Okay. So update branch is done. Insert branch is done. Last thing we will add is on screen action of reset the control. So reset control is nothing, just I want the latest data to be fetched on our table grid or whenever we do any sort of changes. Okay, so wipe the task. So as I can check that from our connector logs, we can see that the request has been a success type, and in our table, we can see that a new roll number of 32 has been generated of name Jacob with this particular details, or you can say the marks with a particular grade, right? So we can see the insert query is working fine. Now let's try our update query. So whom do I want to? Let's give Suman a bit much more marks in English. 88, and the roll number is 29. 29, 88. So our update, our inserting new data and viewing the data, all three of them are working. The whole CRUD functionality has been like tipped off using the one and only our table grid control. Now moving to our just end of this whole table grid talks, there is two more keywords I would like to discuss with you guys, and this will be like useful for the users to not to affect the back database or the backend in cases where you make certain changes in your table grid. Like, let me show you quickly. Mm, So I have two JSON viewer, and the data I want to bind in this JSON viewer control is from table grid control, and the field I want is not any column, just the edited table. Okay. Now let me rename it. And this particular, let's see, selected row, go to its and then control table grid. Now, the first keyword was edited tables. This edited table keyword enables you to fetch all the data from the table grade which have been edited and without affecting the backend, like without clicking on save changes. Like if I just click on 69 to 78, you can see roll number, science 78, Ruchi 78, 53 to 55. 85. So this is the functionality of edited table keyword. And finally, the last was selected row. So once you select a row, where is the Jason? You can see the row number 5, Chetan. So that particular whole row will be available. The whole data will be available to you for other purposes, like using it in another control, or you want to use it in another function call or API. So yes, with this, we come to the conclusion of our today's session. And thank you guys for watching this whole seminar and this whole webinar. And I hope that this will clear your doubts with working more with table grid and much more. And in case if you find any more troubles, you can just contact us, email us, or point us in our own community channels, Discord, and everywhere. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. Yeah, that would be all. Handing over to you, Prakash or Saloni.
Thank you, Shibam. Thank you so much.